came from a life that was strung with strings of abusive relationships, just bouncing from one to another.
I grew up in a family that was very tumultuous. That's the best word I can think of to say. I have struggled with depression and with cutting pretty much my whole life because of that.
I grew up basically in an alcoholic, addicted family, and my whole life used every other addiction known to man and woman to cover up that pain.
Conflict resolution, I didn't know that conflict could even be resolved. In my experience, conflict meant a separation in a relationship. And so anytime there was the littlest conflict, it was like an emergency, it was a crisis in my life.
Well, what happened in my own personal life was I looked okay. I was teaching school and looked okay from the outside, but God knows my innermost being, and He knew the roots, He knew the weeds, He knew the stuff that needed to come out. So I wound up in a depressed state where I didn't want to do life, and I came to the Refuge.
When I came to the Refuge was a time that I felt stuck in my heart. I felt I couldn't get over the sadness that I was going through. I had a broken relationship at that time and I didn't know how to handle that. I came without hope and I came fragile, and I didn't like to be fragile. So I came knowing that this was my last chance to do something, or that at least God will do something with me.
I kept thinking, there's got to be a place, there is a place for women to come to.
What is the Women's Refuge? The Women's Refuge of Vero Beach is a place where hurting women can find healing for their problems through understanding the love and peace of God and how their identity in Him can set them free.
The mission of the Refuge is to provide a Christian program where hurting women can find healing through biblical counseling. This is accomplished in our residential and non-residential and group settings. Each person is offered an opportunity to be victorious through Christ's life.
Who comes to the Women's Refuge? Women with emotional needs, spiritual and identity problems.
Women after a divorce or personal trauma.
Women needing to fit into their homes and churches in a more healthy way.
Women who need discipleship training for ministering to other women.
Women may stay 2 weeks to 2 years, depending on their needs, their woundedness, and their circumstances.
The Women's Refuge is for women 18 years old and older. It is not a shelter, and it is not for women with addictions unless they have been through at least 6 months of residential treatment.
What has happened over these 10 years is that we have had hundreds of women come in from all over the world, from Korea, from Australia, from South Africa, from Sweden, from England, we've had over 75 come from the South American countries alone, and all over the United States. And they have come here, and what they've done is that they've taken our 2-week course, which is for leaders, or their 3-month, 6-month, or 9 months program for the healing, or even the 2-year program for the internship. They've taken this material, this experience, this healing, and have incorporated it in their own lives through the power of the Holy Spirit, and have taken it back into their areas all over the world. We now have a place, a women's refuge in St. Augustine, and that is for the women that are coming out of jail. And we've trained the leaders there. And we have another one over in South Africa, and we've trained the 2 leaders over there. We have one that's down in Colombia, South America, trained the leaders there. And we've helped train the leaders over at Refuge Ranch in Okeechobee for the women that are coming out of addiction. So the Lord is saying to us, is showing us through His Word, that if we're faithful in what we're doing and listening to His call and discipling those to send out His disciples, that He will bless us with His presence, with His Word, with His power. And we call upon you to come and support this refuge in prayer, in financial assistance, in volunteer help, or come and become a leader that we can send you out to open up other refuges. Thank you very much.
It's just been amazing because the Lord has been showing me concepts of life that I didn't learn that have brought me a lot of freedom. That's the thing that I have gotten out of being here the most, is that I've learned tools to use in my life.
Well, being here at the Refuge, I've been able to experience God's love in such a way that I see there is hope, that I can live a life that's pleasing to Him.
And I am just very grateful for the Women's Refuge. I am grateful for God being present in this place and working in my life and giving me a hope.